Good afternoon, good morning. This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. I hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. Welcome back to another edition of our Leaders in Customer Loyalty series. In this series, we talk to the brand leaders in customer channel and brand loyalty about what they're seeing on the front lines. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Jamie Russo, who is a Vice President for Loyalty Programs and Customer Engagement at Choice Hotels International. Jamie, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Doing great, thank you. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us today. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's happy to be back. Happy to be talking to you guys again.
Excellent. So one of the things we like to start off with is a little bit of kind of a fun fact. Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, also what you do at Choice Hotels, but we'd like to get kind of a personal side to the interviews as well.
Sure. So I'm Jamie Russo. I lead our loyalty program and customer engagement here at Choice Hotels. What that actually means is that it means that I lead our award-winning loyalty program, Choice Privileges, all of our strategic partnerships, our contact center operations from both reservations and customer service, as well as some of our franchisee support. I guess as a fun fact, I have become even more of an avid chef during this time and starting to get into some more interesting cooking methods. So
that's good. What is your favorite dish?
Oh, good God. It's hard to say. I mean, I think that we had a very nice beef Wellington over over the Christmas holiday.
Well, that's good then. All right. Fun. So for those who may not be familiar, can you give us a brief history on Choice Hotels, kind of all that you do, all that you offer?
Sure. Yeah, Choice Hotels is a fully franchised organization of hotels. We were founded in 1939, and one of those original owners became the owner of Choice Hotels International, the Bainham family, which is still one of our primary owners of our stock. We have 12 brands that include brands that you'll probably know of as Comfort Inns, Comfort Suites, Quality Inns, Cambria, Sleep Inn. All of our brands span from the economy segment up into the upscale segment. They represent over 7,000 hotels around the world. We're in 41 different countries.
Okay, great. Recently, you guys announced a partnership with Penn National Gaming. I think it's the largest national and most broadly diversified gaming company in the U.S. 41 properties across 19 states, I think. Can you tell us a little bit about that relationship, how it came to be, and what it'll mean to both entities?
Yeah, no, we're absolutely thrilled and excited about this partnership. I mean, the agreement is going to come, and the benefits of the agreement are going to come in phases. But at its core, this arrangement allows both of our companies to expand our offerings to customers. For Choice, we're able to offer our members the ability to earn and redeem their Choice Privileges points at 22 exciting gaming locations through choicehotels.com and our call centers. That actually launched yesterday. The ability to book those properties. Actually, and within a couple of hours, we had already had a number of people who had booked and arrived at properties at some of their casinos. That'll culminate into a second phase where our elite members are going to be able to get reciprocal elite tier status in the My Choice program and get benefits as well as earn their currency, which is called My Cash, at Penn National Gaming locations. One of the interesting things about this relationship is if you book through choicehotels.com or our call center, not only are you going to get the same best rate that you'll ever be able to get out there, you'll get your Choice Privileges points, but you're also going to be able to accrue benefits in the My Choice program and earn My Cash. And then at the final phase of this is when you'll be able to book Choice Hotels through different parts of the Penn National gaming ecosystem. And then when you book Choice there, not only will you be getting the same great rate, you'll be able to earn My Cash for your stays at Choice, as well as Choice Privileges points, unlike when you book through other third parties.
Okay, so it sounds like there's kind of a roadmap to get the programs completely integrated. Now it's just being able to redeem for a night's stay, but eventually it's going to be complete synergistic integration. It's kind of both ways.
Yeah, I mean, we'll of course continue to operate independently, but we're trying to make it feel as much as possible that we are acting as one company. When we did, you asked about how this came about. When we think about it, we look at our customers all the time and try to understand where are we meeting their needs and where are we not meeting their needs. And Choice is, as I mentioned, a wonderfully diverse group of 7,000 hotels, but we stop at upscale, and we don't have luxury hotels, nor do we have anything in the gaming industry. our customers over-index in a couple of key areas, and gaming was one of those. And so, while people were going and enjoying gaming while they were sometimes staying with us and going to the casino down the street, sometimes they were staying at those casinos. And this gives us the ability to better serve that unmet customer need. And for Penn, this gives them the ability to give more benefits to their top customers, as well as acquire customers from us, because there are plenty of those 41 properties, only 22, 24 of them have hotel product at them. So some of them are standalone casinos, racetracks, or so on. And so by partnering with us, they can get to the people who are staying at our hotels in those areas more easily.
Okay, interesting. And partnerships are a huge thing. Actually, we just had a small-sided meeting, member-only meeting today, talking about partnerships. And to get one that works like that is hard, right? I mean, one of the challenges that brands have is, even the hotels that we're talking about that today is you have too many. But to get one that truly works synergistically, there's reciprocity, and listening to the customers what they want and truly engaging is hard. And congratulations on being able to do that, because that's an austere task.
Yeah, and it's not something that's new for us, and I think that what's different about Choice is that while we're a big company, we do not have a ton of people who work at our company. And because of that, we're able to get things through, much more easily than at other places. We can break down a lot of different barriers and bring different parts of our company together to add more value to partners. We have a terrific partnership with Blue Green Vacations, that we have their hotels that are part of our system as Ascends, but also they utilize our customers' lists to be able to help grow their vacation ownership business. And last year, we did another partnership with AM Resorts, which are all-inclusive hotels like Dreams, Secret, Sunscape, Zoetry, that are very, very high-end, all-inclusive hotels that we, of course, had zero of before. But again, our customers over-indexed on all-inclusive type of travel. So we went and partnered with them to try to find a way to give that offering to our customers as well.
Okay, interesting. So recently, going through the pandemic, you announced a new commitment to clean, which includes best practice in cleaning, disinfecting, social distancing. Can you tell us a little about the program, how it came to be? I'm sure it was by listening to customers and obviously being very proactive in your approach to the pandemic.
Yeah.
A little bit more about the program and all that it entails.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the reality is in the hotel industry, as anyone who travels hopefully knows, cleanliness and the health and safety of our guests is one of the most important things that we do. So this has always been something that has been a core part of what our hotels operate under. But we did feel that during this time, it was appropriate to make some changes. Some of that was ramping up some of the cleanliness protocols, but other parts of it were really responding to the pandemic. So what guests can experience in this is, a variety of new and improved protocols, some new products, as well as different communications that promote health and safety. Some of these types of things, let's say, we are requiring face coverings in hotel common areas to slow the spread. We have updated check-in and check-out procedures that limit social interactions, as well as guidelines for social distancing at the front desk area. We've even looked at the furniture and changed the furniture arrangement to encourage social distancing in accordance with what we've learned from the CDC. Our customers have also asked, and we put in hand sanitizing stations in public spaces, as well as, our customers said during this time, while they often enjoy having their hotel room cleaned every night, they had more trepidation than they used to. So they've asked us to now have housekeeping services be more on demand. And then a core part of what most of our hotels offer is free breakfast as a part of that. And free breakfast was often a buffet of things, which was not something that people felt comfortable with. And so we've had to change our breakfast items and offering much more prepackaged food and beverage items, as well as things like grab and go type of options.
Excellent. And your rewards program, your members have done some unique things throughout the pandemic, very generous in their support of donating, I think, over 50 million points to charitable causes you support. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because that's a very big interest of marketers right now, customer service, corporate social responsibility, CSR, the wrong CSR. But corporate social responsibility, how to make it work, how to make it effective. But a lot of brands kind of brought that out during the pandemic, but they didn't see that fortuitous end, right? They didn't see people donate as much as you guys did. So how did that program come together, and why was it so successful?
It's successful because we didn't just start it now. It's not an inauthentic thing. We have been offered the ability for our members to donate to charities for years now. And they have done so and been very generous in times of natural disasters, a lot of times during the hurricanes, in giving to the American Red Cross. But that said, that's an incredibly fortuitous position that we're in, that we have such generous members. And we're really, really thankful to have that. Since the beginning of this pandemic and then throughout, our members were donating to a lot of those charities that we already had, ones like the American Red Cross. But we also saw at the beginning, when people were staying at home and were locked down, and all but essential travel was paused, people were asking for ways that they could be part of the solution. Because they had been part of the solution in these past disasters with us. We tried to expand our offerings. We brought in one that was called Franchising Gives Back. As I mentioned, we're a fully franchised company. That charity provides different financial benefits to people in small communities, the communities where small businesses like ours are operating. The other one was the CERTA Stay Home, Give a Bed program. Which allowed our members to give and donate their points to give hospital beds, which during the heights, there was such a shortage of that. I think that by promoting that and giving people a chance to both be a part of the solution, as well as stay relevant with our brand, was part of the reason that, as you pointed out, millions and millions of points were donated to those efforts. And one of the things that we were really appreciative of is that other brands were interested in partnering with us on that. Through the generosity of our co-brand partner, Barclays Bank, they doubled all of our gifts over to the American Red Cross. So in this, we were able to really, truly make a difference.
Absolutely. The program obviously has been fairly successful, very successful, should I say, over the last number of years, winning numerous awards from both USA Today in the Best Reader's Choice Awards, and also U.S. News and World Report. Why do you think you're...
We've also won some Loyalty360 awards.
Yes, and Loyalty360 awards. That is correct. That is correct. Tim, you need to help me out with that one. Sorry. Yeah. So why do you think your program is so successful? You've won numerous awards, both from the industry and from customers.
Yeah. I think that, or at least I like to believe, it's because our rewards are so accessible. You don't have to stay 100 times a year with us to get anything. We have a great elite program, and we continue to evolve that and give benefits to the people who are staying for a lot with us. But with programs like our Your Extras program, our members get tangible rewards like money to spend at Amazon, literally starting on their first day. And then on every single stay thereafter, you get a reward. And then as you're accumulating your points to save up for something bigger, we have hotels that are accessible for points. Over 1,000 of our hotels can be redeemed for just 8,000 points. If you want something really, truly amazing, like a stay at one of the AM resorts, those are starting at just 20,000 points for 2 people to stay in an all-inclusive hotel. It's a truly amazing value that's within our program. And for those who participate in choice privileges, they quickly realize that value that's out there.
Absolutely. That's great. Emotional loyalty is a topic front and center with many brands right now. Marketers, how do you get emotional loyalty with your customers? We just finished our first industry paper on that. It should be on the site hopefully soon. What does it mean to your brand, emotional loyalty, and how are you guys measuring it and engendering it?
It's emotional difficulties, or emotional emotional loyalty. Yeah, we can start that over. Yeah. Emotional loyalty is fairly difficult, I think, to measure, in a number of different ways, but mainly because every individual human is very different and motivated by their own types of emotions. But it's actually not something that's totally new in the hospitality sector. For years, hotels have been designing beds, experiences, what types of outlets they put in their hotels that really cater to what a customer wants. In those experiences, it's in those that are the certain parts that guests are seeking out of a particular brand. The real challenge, I think, is really finding ways to create ways that create that kind of emotional loyalty that are not replicable. In many respects, that's what kind of our hotels do as well. We actually get requests for bedding from for our hotels. And the comfort waffle, that's been like a true hallmark and things that people seek out, not just for transient travel, but also when they're with their families. You ask people about their road trips. I was on a panel before, and I mentioned the comfort waffle. And one of the other women who worked at a different company said, "I remember that when I was growing up. That was one of the things I remembered with my family, and we do frequent your hotels now with my family because of that." So there is those parts of it. What we try to figure out though is, can we connect certain parts of that to our loyalty program to amplify that feeling? One example of that is with our types of customers, we often have heavy drivers to our properties, people who are driving, pretty consistently. And, the whole thing of having to get, into a parking lot and try to find out where you want to park. Well, we reserve the best spots now for our elite members. Every single one of our hotels now has to have reserved parking up front or closest to the best entry points to the hotel for our loyalty members, so that they feel that they're taken care of and we know the things that are most important to them.
Okay. Emotional loyalty can be kind of a bane or a benefit depending on how you look at it. We've heard kind of both markers, right? It's a good thing to have, but it can be very challenging to kind of keep up with the expectations of the customer, make sure that you are engaging them in the way they want, and they can be very vocal as well. How do you view emotional loyalty in your customer base?
Well, I think that, as I mentioned, we know it exists, right? We do get calls. I think, Pearl helped me on one of these where, someone wrote to me directly asking if they could purchase, some of our bedding. And, they actually really just enjoyed our pillows and said that those pillows are the only ones that, made it so her neck and her husband's neck didn't hurt. So, she asked if she could purchase them. We went and sent them to her for free. But, we know that there's certain things that people really like about our properties. The waffle was another one. But that is constantly changing. And I think that kind of dynamism of what customer behaviors are what makes this job so fun. And I think that we are constantly trying to talk to our customers or understand what those types of things are, because the things that matter today aren't going to matter in the future. And as we've learned from this pandemic, things can change very, very quickly during this time.
Okay. When you look at customers have changed. We've heard about that for a while now, pre-pandemic, during the pandemic. How do you see your customers changing? I know OTRs was kind of, OTA, should I say? Again, OTAs was kind of a big thing at one point, but now how are your customers changing and how are you adapting to that?
Yeah, I mean, as I think you mentioned, customer change is nothing new. The good thing is that we've said at the beginning, we knew that this was going to be, really something that was going to require us to pivot very, very fast. We, from the first week of this going on, started daily meetings to try to understand what was happening and changes that we would make, not just to the hotel product, but to the loyalty program and other ways that we were going to need to get in front of guests. The amazing thing is our guests have been really great throughout this, our members. Our elite members have been staying with us and continue to stay with us. And we've actually been able to lead the industry in a lot of the biggest measures. We are seeing some differences though. And the question is really going to be, are those trends going to persist after the pandemic, or is this a short-term thing? Right now, booking windows are incredibly short. We're seeing people book, much more often right before, their stay, as opposed to being further out. Mainly because planning right now isn't as easy. We're seeing people who are utilizing our hotels to get away and actually do remote schooling or remote teleworking. The other part is that customers are more cautious now. We talked about the commitment to clean and what we needed to do to implement new safety measures. But at the same time, there's so many of our travelers who are essential travelers or other people who continue to travel. And so we are doing everything we can to make that travel more lucrative. We've been running promotions from the very beginning, and we continue to, because we want to make sure that those people who are traveling know that they're appreciated, and we want that travel to be with Choice Hotels.
Okay, interesting. So when you look at your customer loyalty program, we mentioned earlier a number of rewards that you've won, very successful. How do you measure the kind of efficacy of your customer experience, customer loyalty efforts? And what KPIs do you look at, you and your team, and are there KPIs that you may be looking to kind of measure by?
Yeah, I think that we look at a lot of the traditional ones, probably that you hear from other people. Are people joining our program? Are people who are in our program, are they staying active? And which customers are not just active, but high active customers? And then we look at who's leaving. Those are kind of the basic KPIs that we've always looked at. But what we started really digging into are who are people who are truly loyal to us, meaning you're multi-year active with us. And that base of people has consistently been growing over the last 5 years. And it's something that we've really been impressed to see, that about, more than half of our active base are people who stay with us regularly year after year. So I think that was one of those that I think is a little bit different, which goes into more lifetime customer value. But when you think about lifetime customer value, it's much harder in the hotel space because you don't see people as often as you do if they're using your credit card, or doing something that's a high frequency transaction like going to your coffee shop. So we've had to be a little bit more scientific in how to interpolate between people's stays so that we can understand, are they really loyal to us? Are they captively loyal? Or are they somebody who really loves us as a brand?
Yeah, I think that's a good point too. I know that from our membership base, a lot of people that are reporting their numbers of the street this first quarter don't have that same engagement rate year over year, right? So they're looking at different ways to talk about that, so people don't kind of freak out. All the analysts don't say, oh, this so-and-so retailer, they 10, 15, 20% drop in our active rate, when you're looking at different metrics. So that's something that we want to do more around. But it's interesting because that was a big thing we heard last year, that my engaged rate or my active participation rate is down significantly in a lot of retail and a lot of industries. So it's interesting how you're looking at that, kind of thinking outside the box to address some of that. It's good to hear.
Yeah, and what we tried to do is figure out ways of those people who are the most highly active with us. How do we make sure that during the pandemic they felt taken care of? Every other hotel company and a lot of the airlines also went out there and just told everyone, hey, your status, we're going to keep that safe through the end of next year or through the end of 2021. Now, we knew we were going to do that, but what we wanted to do is something a little bit better. And so we went last year and upgraded everyone who was an elite in our program to the next highest tier status. So if you were gold with us, we made you platinum. If you were platinum, we made you a diamond. And if you were a diamond, we gave you 10% extra points on every stay. And then we said, if you have just 5 nights with us by the end of the year, from June 1st through December 31st, you could keep that elevated status. Well, we saw a really high percentage of people qualifying for that, and it contributed millions of room nights into our system this year.
That's good. I think it's a great way to hear that. Some things that we've heard too is giving away status is very difficult. So if you give people status, right, they haven't earned it necessarily, and they might not engage around it. But I think what you did is what we've heard from brands really works, is kind of give them a benchmark over a period of time. And if you hit it, you keep that status, right? It's a reduced status, but there's reciprocity engagement, and that's great to hear. So what's the next big thing for customer loyalty, customer experience at Choice?
Yeah, we had a good conversation around how customers are always changing. And so we're constantly looking and evaluating that. And as I said, I think the question is going to be how many of these trends continue to persist. But one of the things we know is that our program meets the needs of a really high percentage of our customers. Maybe not perfectly, but meets it. But there are still people who don't join our program and are not part of our loyalty program. And we're trying to figure out, what do we need to do to change to be better for that? Are there different incentives or different things that we need to be thinking of that we can pair with our program to make it better? And then for the people who are in our program, as I said, we're not perfect yet. We are trying to find ways to make the program even better. The relationship that started this conversation about Penn National Gaming, it's a great example of that. Our customers enjoy gaming, but we didn't have it. With AMR, our customers enjoy going to all-inclusive hotels, but we didn't have it. Now we do, and we're the only company out there that really you can get rewarded for those types of things and be able to redeem for it. Also, one other good example of that is with golf. We started a program called Golf by Choice, and we're the only hotel company out there where you can earn and redeem your Choice Privileges points for golf merchandise, golf equipment, even tee times around the world.
Interesting. That's great to hear. Very innovative for sure, especially because you get to the higher end, I think, of your audience, I would think, as well, too, not just traditional over the road travelers.
Well, in the traditional over-the-road traveler, even this through this, we saw that a partnership with something like golf was perfect. Golf, started to see a resurgence as people saw this was a great outdoor activity where you could actually see people. You'd be far enough away from them, but you'd still be able to, get some exercise and be social and feel
Yeah,
somewhat normal.
well, I think one of the things you mentioned too, Shell, kind of a new member of Loyalty360, they saw a lot of data points too over the pandemic. Like people, as you mentioned, booking, it's kind of condensed, right? Short staycations, and I think
Mhm.
I could even introduce you to those guys over there. But they saw a lot of that too, the trend that people were filling up in a different pattern, right? They were going in shorter distances.
Mhm.
Kind of travel patterns have changed, and I think they were asking the same questions as well as how much of this goes forward, and if so, how do you kind of be proactive to that versus be reactive? I mean, it's hard to do.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that I hope does persist is this, you know, refinding what's so great about America. Americana travel took off during this time. People visiting our national parks or different tourist attractions around. It's really something that's been great to see as people are starting to recognize that that family travel, that chance to get away to something where you get to experience so many great things about our country are was really something that I hope does persist, and Choice is perfectly situated for that, given that we have literally over, like I think it's like 2,700 hotels within a mile of a highway exit.
Interesting. So when you look at the competitive set, obviously it's pretty diverse, growing so, and you're competing with Airbnbs and others, I think, in some situations as well. How is your brand different than the competitors? Are you seeing similar sorts of efforts with your competitors? What may they be doing? How do you think you're standing apart?
Yeah, I think that our brand, everyone would likely say their brand is different. I think our loyalty program brand is certainly different because we have to work a lot harder than others do. Our hotels, we don't own, we don't operate them. So we're a little bit distanced from our customer in that on-property experience. And not all of our hotels have the traditional amenities that other programs rely on for value, like suite upgrades or high-end food and beverage. So, for us, we've had to create the ability to do those types of recognition, those types of new benefits on our own. Your Extras being an example of that. The hotel doesn't have to do anything, but we get to deliver you an instant reward right when you check in. So I think that that's where we have some difference, but also recognizing who we are and what we haven't had traditionally is what spurred some of this innovation into partnership. So being able to partner with these places and locations where Choice traditionally didn't have, but we knew our customers wanted.
Okay, great. And the last question I have for you is, what can Loyalty360 do to help you in your customer experience and customer loyalty journey?
Yeah, I think a few areas. So, Mark, I think that first, one, thank you for this, because I think that's one of the big things is helping us to get the word out about our program. There are still many people out there who are missing out on what Choice Privileges has to offer. So we appreciate the opportunity to tell our story. So that's first. I think the other one is helping to keep us informed of new trends that are being seen. The website and all the different coverage that you have of loyalty, not just within our industry, but other places, does help us to think differently about how we can serve customer needs. And I think finally, well, if you have any connections or other areas where you think that we could be creating great customer value by partnering, we're always willing to listen.
Absolutely, yeah. Partnering is a big thing. So we just had a kind of partnership meeting today at 2. It's interesting how brands are looking at it. I think they were looking at it in a different way. And instead of having hundreds and thousands of partnerships, or 10, 20, 30, they're looking at the truly synergistic ones that work for both and have great alignment. So it's definitely very interesting. So thank you for that. Well, Jamie, as always, great talking with you. Great hearing what you guys are doing, and look forward to hearing more soon.
Excellent. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks again, Mark.